Hi everyone, my name is Tino. I started off my life as a churchgoer. I was a Catholic, going to church just for routine because my parents took me to church and I had to go to church, which was nice, but I never really had this relationship with Jesus at the time. That continued on up until junior high and high school when I ended up turning atheist at one point, and I was going towards that direction. I just didn't, in my mind, it didn't logically make sense that there would be a God in my head. During that time, I was also invited to youth, where I started attending this youth group at my now church at Full Life Christian Assembly, and I started going, and this seed was planted, and this new foundation with this relationship with God sprouted around that time. Fast forward, that was just the foundation, which was really important. But when I went to college, that's when I had my moment of downward spiraling. I stopped going to church as often. I didn't really prioritize this relationship with God as much. I basically started my rebellion during that time. During my rebellion time during college, I started to force these vices into my life, not because I truly liked them, but I was just searching for something to make myself feel more fulfilled in life. I started drinking, I started smoking weed, and again, doing all these things not just for the fun of it, but because I was trying to fill a void, and that in itself is not healthy and also detrimental to my walk with Jesus, my relationship with God. So after a certain time, I started spiraling until I had this moment in my life where I had a conversation with someone in college, one-on-one, and we were having this weird conversation about religions. And it's during this time where he started mentioning Christianity, and we went onto the topic of Christianity. And during this time, my faith was so shaken and so weak, and my relationship with God was so weak that he went on to tear down Christianity, and me as a people pleaser just went on to this conversation without standing up for what I had originally believed in. And this was the turning point in my most down portion of my life at this point. It's at this point where I realized something needed to be fixed in my life. Fast forward through several months after that, I started volunteering for youth at our church, and this conviction in my heart, lay deep in my heart, where I realized that this void of this attitude of complacency and trying to fill this void with these vices, drinking, smoking, partying, whatever it was, even video games. I still play video games, but at that point I was using all these things to try to fill a void rather than rely on Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior and have faith in what He has in my life, stored in my life. And at a certain point, I decided to commit to coming back into the faith and volunteering for the youth. And at this point, it's like it's like everything switched from me craving these vices from drinking and smoking to completely quitting it in a day. It just went away in a day, and I know a lot of people have trouble giving up these vices, and it takes months and months, but thanks be to God that within a day he gave me, he through his grace I was saved from these vices, and now I carry on with this wonderful thing, a relationship with God, and that is my testimony.
Thank you, Tino.